Welcome back to Entertainment This Week, a weekly segment from DM Reviews where we go over the biggest news headlines from movies and TV shows from the past week. Make sure to stay tuned till the end of the video, because then I'm going to kind of tease what type of videos we have in store for later the week, and I may even give a few options, so make sure to stay so you can comment what you brought. Also, make sure to check out DM Reviews Twitter there should be a link for in the description below, where we post a bunch of cool polls there, and we just did a couple, and we don't intend on stopping, so make sure to check that out so you can make sure you can vote in those. And also, we post whenever new videos are out most of the time, so you won't miss a video. Also, make sure to check out Demerit Commissions in the Discord for both great thumbnails, profile pictures, fun backgrounds, and so much more. There's a lot of news to get to this week, so let's get into it. The upcoming HBO Max TV series Peacemaker, which will be a spin-off series to James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, which we do have a review for on the channel, will not be the end of James Gunn's DC career, as James Gunn has confirmed he is currently working on another DC project. I'm very interested to see what this can be, but my guess is it's either a sequel to The Suicide Squad, which I'd be very excited for, or another spin-off of the show, of the movie, maybe focusing on a different character, maybe a Flag spin-off, or like a prequel one, or maybe something else interesting. But I'm very excited, because I think James Gunn's very talented, especially with superheroes, so I'm very interested to see what else he could do. The Eternals is confirmed to have two storylines in it. One of them will be set in the past, most likely, I'm guessing at least, somewhere between from the time they got to Earth until present day, and then the other one from in the current MCU timeline. I'm very interested to see what the potential with this with character, but I'm also kind of concerned to see how this handle this, because my guess is it's going to be we keep hearing that they can't interfere and they're referencing something that happened in the past, and the other one will be this event that'll make sure that they cannot interfere interfere with human events, because I think the Celestials are going to be the ones who told them based on the comics. So I'm interested to see the story potentials with that, but I'm also a little worried on how Marvel's going to handle that, because I don't think they've done anything like that before, or at least not at the scale which it sounds like this movie will have. Joaquin Phoenix has said that he does not know if a Joker 2 is being developed, but he thinks there's a lot more to explore with the character, and it sounds like he'd be very up for a sequel. Personally, I would like them for them to not do a sequel, since while I love the first one, I think it's one of my favorite superhero movies. Well, it's not really a superhero movie, but comic books movies. But I don't think this movie needs a sequel, because I think one of the best parts about the ending is how ambiguous it is, and I think once you take away that ambiguity, first of all, they're probably going to have to reveal that it all was real. I feel like that would just kind of take away from the movie, and I just don't know where the sequel would go. I don't think it would be better. What I'd much prefer is if they kind of do, these are not connected at all, but they do just a universe, again, not connected, of Batman villain origin stories, like a Scarecrow movie, a Mr. Freeze movie, a Penguin origin movie, where, I would love Todd Phillips to return for those, but Joaquin Phoenix is not really in them at all. They're not at all connected to Joker, and I think that's just I think that would be a much better way to continue this kind of universe without doing a sequel. Keanu Reeves has confirmed that the live adaptation of his comic book Berserker will be rated R. The story should follow an 80,000-year-old immortal warrior with perfect memory that speaks a ton of languages and is hiding out of the USA. It seems safe to say that George Clooney will not be making a surprise cameo as Batman in The Flash. He said, "They didn't ask me. When you destroy a franchise the way I did, they usually look the other way when The Flash comes by." I feel like this is almost a little I don't know about insulting, because I understand his opinion on this, but there are probably people who worked very hard on that movie, maybe even him, so I feel like it might be a little rude to say that to them, but I understand considering, how the movie turned out. Hotel Transylvania Transformia is now going straight to streaming on Prime Video with a new January 14th release date. Marvel Studios was planning a T'Challa Star-Lord spin-off from What If with Chadwick Boseman. Honestly, I would have been pretty excited to see this. We do have a review of that episode on the channel, and it was actually, I discussed, I can update that video, that it was actually my favorite episode of the series so far. I mean, season 2 could change that. So I would have been very excited to see what they could do with the spin-off, but also just, I don't really know where that would go, because we'd probably have to have one coherent story. But I'd be very interested to see how T'Challa would impact the galaxy, and maybe characters that we've seen in the movies, and how they would have been different if they known him instead of Peter Quill Star-Lord. So I would have been very up for that, and it's obviously very sad that we're not going to get it. A new Batman live-action series, Wayne Family Adventures, is in the works, which is an adaptation of the animated show, which I have a picture of on the screen from it. The Walking Dead has wrapped filming on Season 11, Episode C, the second part finale of 3 parts that isn't going to be in their final season. They only have 8 episodes left to film, so expect them to be done sometime soon, which should fall in with the basic release schedule that most people have been thinking, where the show will end airing in late 2022. Which, it's obviously very upsetting to see the show coming to an end, but, it was going to happen, as we know. And obviously, it opens up a lot more potential with the spin-offs that they've announced and the movies. So it's obviously very bittersweet. But I think the show is always going to come to end, and especially considering the quality drop off that we've had really ever since season 5, the show's been declining. Obviously, it has gotten better at times, and I'm really enjoying season 11 so far. But you can't deny the fact that the show it hasn't been as good as it was before. So it is what it is. But it's definitely very bittersweet to hear that the show's actually almost done filming. I hope I've been very interested in like a documentary on how they were filming last season, or just some behind the scenes stuff on them filming like the last episode. But that is a ways to go before we get there. Make sure to stay tuned because there's more Walking Dead news to discuss. So make sure you stay. This might be the biggest news of the week, that Catherine Hahn has signed a deal with Marvel Studios to return as Agatha Harkness in various movies and Disney Plus shows, including her own series. This is kind of a mixed bag for me, because I'm a huge fan of Catherine Hahn. She was very good as the role, and she was great in WandaVision, and I'm very excited for the potential to have her in her own show, because if you remember, WandaVision left off with with Wanda making her go back to the nosy neighbor role and kind of just living in that life. So I'm very interested to see where the show would pick up from. But, I think I'm just worried that we're getting all these announcements, and I think that this is already starting to happen with all these announcements. I'm worried that the superhero genre and just the market is being oversaturated, and eventually we're just going to see this steep decline. Not necessarily in quality, this could be a great show, but more just that people are just going to lose interest if we're getting, it seems like we're going to have a new superhero movie or show, literally every week. Marvel seems like they want to have every week as a show, and then, once a month as a movie, which just seems like a little too much, but I'm enjoying it for now. I've been a fan of most of Marvel's recent stuff, and DC's definitely been getting better, I'd say. So, I'm not going to complain just yet, but I'm definitely starting to get a little worried. It has been confirmed that the first teaser for Peacemaker will release next week at DC Fandom, which should have a lot of very fun announcements about upcoming DC movies. Hopefully we'll get maybe another trailer for the Batman, and maybe a trailer for the Flash, which we do have news on coming soon, which definitely could affect that. Maybe Black Adam, the Rock's new movie, so... I'm very interested to see what a teaser will look like. What maybe we'll figure out who the villain is. Cool stuff like that. I'm very excited for. It has also been announced that The Walking Dead will return for Part 2 of Season 11 on Sunday, February 20th for the next 8 episodes. This is about what we expected. I think. I think it was because I think Fear the Walking Dead Season A Part 1 and then the entirety of World Beyond Season 2 should finish around December time, and then. That's usually the Walking Dead universe will take a break, then come back in February. So this shouldn't come as a surprise for everybody. And then it wouldn't shock me if Fear the Walking Dead's usually around there too. Maybe maybe it could be double airing, or they'll be right after Walking Dead. And then that should take us to a point where we don't really know what the schedule's gonna look like, just because we don't know when Tales of the Walking Dead's coming, or maybe that's really the only spinoff right now that we're waiting on. Other stuff we have to wait for the main show to end. So I do have more Walking Dead stuff to discuss later in the video though. So make sure you stay tuned if you're here for that type of stuff. So it has been announced that The Flash has wrapped filming, and the movie should be releasing in around, I think, 4 months, I'm not entirely sure what the release date is for that movie, but I think it's coming sometime soon. I'm definitely excited for this movie, because I don't hate Ezra Miller's portrayal of The Flash as much as a lot of other people do. Obviously Grant Gustin is probably a better portrayal, but I'm not even a huge fan of that show. I gave up a few seasons ago. So I'm excited for this movie. I'm excited to see, I'm not a huge fan of the Batmans that are going to be in this movie, so I don't really know what this is going to look like, but obviously it'd be huge, I'd be very excited if they brought back other past DC characters, and just, in general, I like superhero movies, so I'm very excited for that, but, also a little worried. It has been confirmed that Cillian Murphy is going to star in Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. This is obviously very exciting, considering that Cillian Murphy's very impressive past with Christopher Nolan, especially in the Batman movies, so that's very interesting. That 70s Show spinoff, That 90s Show, has been ordered by Netflix. Kurtwood Smith and Deborah Jo Rupp will reprise their roles as Red and Kitty Foreman. David Fincher was weighing up the possibility of reviving his WorldWarZ sequel for his next film. Instead, he decided to develop The Killer, starring Michael Fassbender as Tilda Swinton as his next film. I actually have a very interesting opinion on that movie, because it used to be one of my favorite zombie movies, but then I saw a bunch more, and I kind of lost with it. There's a lot of shaky cam in it, which I understand because it's PG-13, so they can't really show all the violence that they might in theory want to. So I definitely I don't like it as much as I used to, but I still acknowledge that movie did have a very I don't know, I just don't think that making a movie version of the book was a good idea, because I love the book, and it's, in fairness, it is nothing like the book. I think that I said this for a while, I think the best way to adapt that book is as an HBO TV series, where you actually can just go through all those stories with as much violence as you want. I think that would be very interesting. So I'm not sure if I would want a sequel to WorldWarZ, because I just did not like it that much, but I would definitely be up for a sequel, and I'd be very interested to see where they would go with that. The Doctor Who Season 13, which will be the last season for the current Doctor, will officially premiere on October 31st, which should be exciting for most Doctor Who fans. I gave up on the show a few seasons ago, but this should be exciting for most people who have stuck with it through the past 2 seasons, which, at least in my opinion, have been pretty subpar. So now I'm going to tease what videos we have coming later in the week. So today's Sunday, so Entertainment This Week should be out today. And then Monday, so tomorrow, we should have a review of the newest episode of the new chapter of My Hero Academia, which, sorry we didn't get one out last week. It was recorded, but there were problems with it uploading, so that didn't get out. So sorry about that, but we should have one out this week. And then later in the week, we're not sure what we're going to do yet. Either you make sure to comment what you would like. We could do something on, we could do another underappreciated movie review. I do have one in mind that I'd love to do, so if you want that, make sure to comment that. If you want me to maybe, The Walking Dead Season 11 Part A finishes tonight. So if you want maybe a review, what my thoughts were on that season, on this part, because I do have I have pretty mixed thoughts on it. I liked it for the most part, but I do have a few problems, so if you want that, make sure to comment. And then also, if you want, we could talk about What If, because we already did rank all the episodes. So if you want us to maybe talk about our favorite episodes, at least favorite episodes, we can also maybe do that. Or if you have any ideas, make sure to comment down below. And then make sure to comment what you thought of all this news.